All right, we're putting together some performance-based comp plans and incentives for some of our key people, or at least tweaking the ones we had and making them more tangible to them, making them something they can really put their hands around and chase. So it got us thinking a little bit more about the fact that, like, what really matters to an employee and a team member with regards to fully engaging. Like, what are those ingredients that they have to want to chase something, to go after something 100%, not to kind of dip the toe in the water and be hesitant or disengaged from something. And number one thing that I've seen, as well as learned the hard way in some cases, like, they have to know you got their back. They got to know, they got to trust you, that you actually care about them and not just the outcome that you're trying to get out of them on something like that. So trust has to be there, that genuine understanding that you're in their corner for them, not just your own corner type of deal. And the second thing really is you got to tap into people's inborn, innate level of wanting to win. And this sometimes rubs people the wrong way, because at the end of the day, like, winning sometimes and somebody losing per se is seen as a bad thing. But ultimately, at the end of the day, like, if somebody doesn't win, they lose. If they lose, they're going to disengage really quick. So they've got to understand how to win. And we break it down to three different ways here. Is that, one, they have to understand the game they're playing. In other words, what's the actual game that they're trying to compete at? What's the outcomes? What's the expectations? How's the game work? So they got to understand that piece. Secondly, they have to clearly understand, what are the things that I can do to win the game? In other words, what's the levers? If I pull these levers, this happens. If I pull it a certain way or pull it harder, this is going to happen more, in a positive way or in a negative way as well too. They got to understand how to manipulate that lever to win the game. And lastly, and I think this is something that sometimes gets left out, and I've been guilty of this myself, is that, what's the outcome for them? Like, yeah, the business succeeds because the game was won, but for them winning the game, what does that mean to them? And honestly, here's the thing, like, you actually have to spend the time to get to know them. This is where the trust thing in the beginning happens as well too. You got to understand them, what matters to them, that if they succeed and they get what it is, that win that you're looking for, they're looking for, that they get something out of it that actually brings them what it is that they're looking for, not just, again, what you're looking for on there. It has to matter to them. And just pay sometimes is not the thing that matters. It may be time off. It may be another perk. It may be something randomly that they don't even expect. Like, that's something that matters to them. So again, they got to understand the game. They got to understand how to manipulate the game in a positive way. How do I win this game? And then when winning happens, what does that mean to me? And it has to start with the foundation of trust to begin with, and a genuine desire on your part. You got to check yourself with this. Genuine desire on your part to help them get what it is that they want, and you actually freaking care about it. Pretty simple.